Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and guys, today we are going to be powering through some product fails. Now, the first thing I'm going to say before I even get into that, if you're looking at this eye look and you're like, girl, is that familiar? Have I seen it before? Do I want to see it? I'll go ahead and link it up here for you because I just did a full-on review of both of the new NARS face palettes. They came out with the Summer Lights and Hot Nights, and this will have went up on Monday for you guys, so if you're curious how all of this came to be, check that video out. Okay, so that brings us to this old bucket right here. Guys, these are all fails, products that I did not love or otherwise tell you that I did not love. So what I mean by that is I use a lot of products with you guys, first impression or once or twice, and then I do a product update for you. So take for example this right here. This is the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Foundation. This normally would have went right into this fail bucket and I would have told you guys all about it. However, I recently put this in a product update video, which I will link up here, and I updated you guys on it that I didn't like it, it didn't work, yada yada. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen that video. And so when I have a product that goes from one video where I tried it out in a first impression, then it goes to a product update, that is all you need to hear about it. I don't need to reiterate and continue to put that in a fail and then tell you about it more. So a lot of products don't end up in here just because they do end up in those types of videos, number one. Number two, Ulta does have an amazing return policy, so stuff that I don't love, typically I just return and then I never end up telling you about it because it has to get returned that quickly because I want to always stay as much as possible within their return window. So something to keep in mind, if you don't see something here and you haven't seen it in an update video, it may have just gotten returned. But for the most part, these are all items I can't return. There are a couple items in here that I will be able to return still because I think I'm still within the window, but they happen to coincide with this video, so I figured I would just tell you about them before I returned them. So the first item we have here is the Eyelure Talia Power Play Lashes. Now these, I had actually two different pairs of Eyelure lashes. I think they're a really nice drugstore lash, honestly, if you like a thicker band. But for me, I didn't like these, and I did have another style of these as well, and I couldn't wear them. Those ones did get returned. These ones I couldn't find when I went to return them. And the reason I don't like them, quite frankly, the band, it just didn't fit my eye. No matter what I did, I tried to break the band, I tried to cut them, I tried to do everything I could with both of these pairs to make them work for my eye. And the arch on them was just so stick-ass hard straight that I couldn't manipulate it for my eye shape. And this is a common issue with me for lashes, so I wouldn't say that this is like a definitive review of this product. A lot of people do love Eyelure lashes because they are super beautiful and they're very nice for the drugstore, but for me, I do not like them. They didn't work. They were very pokey and stabby, and I would probably never purchase them again. Now along those same lines, you will see these lashes and everything else from the Betsy Johnson collection. I actually did a full face of the Betsy Johnson collection. I will link it up here for you guys. This entire collection completely sucks, you guys. I hate it so much. I bought this, obviously, and it's something that I can't return, and it is the epitome of garbage. I'm sorry, it just, no. Like everything about it, from the aesthetic of who Betsy Johnson is and what I expected in this palette as far as colors, down to the actual product and the pigmentation and how they worked and blended, it was horrible. The lips were awful and chunky. Like literally, you guys, I bought the entire collection. There's more in here. I'm not going to dive into it. Just know that across the board, there was nothing in this collection I would actually recommend to you because the lipsticks were awful and chunky. The lip glosses were chunky and weird, and the sheen wasn't there. Like everything in this collection was just such a bummer. Again, you can check that video out if you want some more information on them, but I do not recommend them. They were, oh, it was a hot mess. So in a slightly unpopular opinion, this is the Morphe Icon Bronzer, and guys, no matter how much I try to make this work for me, it ain't happening. Let me tell you what, this is way too warm, pulling orangey on me when I put it to the skin, and I've tried it with different foundations, and it is so bizarre because it either pulls way too warm or way too pink. Like, I don't know what the deal is with this, but me and this bronzer, we just do not get along, and I've actually seen now two other very fair people say very similar things about it, so I know that I'm not like too far off. Like guys, I kept using this thinking it was me, like other people love it, they have to love it, and then when I found a couple other pasty people, and I believe one of them was that Talia, she tried it out and said that it also pulled very funny on her as well, so I was like, okay, definitely not just me. I think that if you are on like not the super fair spectrum, but maybe light to medium, like this would be a really nice bronzer for you, but for me, girl, complete and total fail. And I was so bummed because as far as quality goes, like it's beautiful, it blends out amazing, It has such a nice consistency to it as a bronzer. The pigmentation, everything is perfect. I have nothing against the quality, but the color for me is just a big old no. Like, oh God, and it makes me so sad too. Because when you look at it, you're like, oh, this could work. But I'm telling you, blend that out on my face and it looks like I have like mange mixed with road rash. It just doesn't look good, and it's just the tone, but still a big old fail, and I'm so sad about it. All right, guys, so now we have some Smith & Colt. These did not work for me. These are the Metallic Shift eyeshadows, and I think these are relatively popular. A lot of people love them. I just hated them because they are all so deep based. Like, no matter what you do with them, they're just dark on the lids. This is the shade Strawberry, for example, here, and you look at it in the tube and it's so beautiful and bright and reflective, and then when you swatch it, just like in the tube, it's beautiful, it's bright, it's intense. But then put this on the lid, and I'm not exaggerating, it cast the darkest shade of, I don't even know what. Like, it looks like a black with purple reflect when I put it on the lid. Right here, this is a great example. You see how when it casts, I just went ahead and I rubbed it to kind of activate that black shade in there. It looks like graphite lead pencil. Like, that's the shade of it, and that's how it ends up looking on my eyes. It looks super dark and casty, and it didn't work for me. So I would love to hear from you guys if you liked them, if you tried them, but they all did the same thing for me, and it really bummed me out. So that's that. Definitely not my aesthetic. I wanted them to be that really bright, beautiful color, but what are you gonna do? And guys, this next item is also from Smith & Colt. I was sitting here trying to build it up. Do you see that giant hole in there? This product is so awful. It like repels off of itself. It repels off of any surface that it touches. It is the worst lip veiling anything I've ever seen, because no matter what, it's just a giant, there's a hole in the center of everything you touch. Like, this just doesn't stick to anything. I don't know any other way to describe it to you other than I will try to do a swatch of it, and as I go back and forth, it picks itself back up every single time. This is just the most bizarre lip veil, because in order to be a lip veil, you have to stick to what's underneath, and this does not. It doesn't stick to anything. I even tried using this like by itself just as a gloss. No, wouldn't even stick to my lip. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do with that, but girl, she ain't sticking to nothing. I hate to do this, but y'all, we're gonna pick on Wet n Wild for a minute because I have some stuff from them that I did not like. So I actually did a full face of Wet n Wild, or what was new at the drugstore, or something like that. I'll link it. And then I also did the Wet n Wild Rose collection, or the Dark Rose or whatever collection. I'll link that as well, because there's products from both of those videos in here. And these are the stick foundations, which I hated these. These didn't work for me. They are definitely more on the dewy side, and for me they literally just repelled yet again right off of my face. They were so dewy, which I love a good dewy foundation, don't get me wrong, but these were so dewy that they wouldn't even stick. Like, no matter what I put underneath of them, they wouldn't stay on long enough for me to even powder them. Like, I just couldn't make them work no matter how many times I went in and used them. I tried them with different primers. I tried like several different techniques, and for me they were just a huge fail. And I think I do have some people in my life that have dry skin that might be able to get some use out of those, which is good, because I bought them from the Wet n Wild site, so obviously I can't return them. But for me, they were just a huge fail, and that's not even me as like an oily skin person. That's just me as a human trying to get something to stick to my face. Along those same lines though, I didn't have any luck with these. These are their Photo Focus Luminous Primer Stick and their Matte Base Stick. I didn't like either of these. Like, they made no difference at all. I didn't think the matte one made me look matte, and I didn't think the luminous one gave me any luminosity. These did literally nothing. I applied them both multiple times to my skin, and nothing. Didn't help me again stay matte, didn't make me luminous. It was like I applied air. Like, it just didn't have anything negative to say, but to me, I'm like, if you're not gonna do something, why would I buy you, and why would I take my time to apply you? They just didn't do anything for me, so you're a fail if you don't do anything. Especially if you don't do what you say you're gonna do, honey boo boo, then you're a big old fail. Next up, we have these two mascaras. This is the Mega Volume and the Mega Protein. They were both mega lame. Like, they didn't do anything. These looked like I walked through a cloud of paint 3 years ago and it lightly wisped my lashes. That is what these did. They didn't go on, they didn't build, they didn't apply. Like, they just, it's hard to describe, because it's like if you would have told me that I didn't put on mascara, I would have believed you. That's how little to nothing these did for my lashes. Like, both of them, it's like it's the same formula times 2. Absolutely useless. Didn't like either of those. And then here comes the fun part. This is like the entire Rose collection that they put out. Guys, I didn't like so freaking much of this collection. I can't even tell you Oh, how much I didn't like this. So these are there's liquid lipsticks in here. I think there's a gloss or something in here. High shine lipstick. That's what it was. There's a high shine lipstick, and then there's a couple of matte lipsticks in here, I believe. Like, I don't like these. Their matte lipsticks for me are way too drying. The shades were a little patchy. The high shine lipsticks did not look high shine to me. They looked very lackluster. I hated the shades. I didn't like literally any of these lip products for any reason. And then this was their Tint of Corruption. I think it was like a lip balm or something. This was atrocious, and let me just show you. Let me demonstrate. So it looks like a clear jelly, right? You apply it and it has like a nice pink sheen to it, and you're like, oh, that's not too bad. Literally look at it continuing to turn hot ass fuchsia pink. And this is the worst, because not only will this continue to get more and more pink, but it then does not come off your lips. So A, God forbid you accidentally get it somewhere else, because your face is stained, number one. Number two, the consistency of this, I absolutely loathe. It is way too slick and slimy, and it's not a comfortable balm at that point anymore. Like, it's just slimy, and I don't like it. It was, oh my God. Like, I've used it probably 2 or 3 times, and I was like, immediately get it away from me. Do you see how pink that got? Absolutely not. Now, another thing that I didn't like was this. This is the cream blush. It's a color changing blush, which, first of all, no, if you're going to change the color from black to pink or black to rosy anything, it's not going to work, because this is always going to leave a cast on your skin. And this right here is a prime example. Do you see how deep in color that looks? You can still see the black undertone of that blush. That is nothing I want on my face, because hello, it's going to cast me gray. That's awful. No, thank you. And guys, these are the 3 eyeshadows that were released with that collection. Also something that I really, really wanted to love, but the quality so inconsistent. Some of these legitimately feel like there are pieces of straw in them. They are so chunky and gritty and awful. And even the matte shades are chunky and gritty and awful. And let me tell you, I know it sounds like I'm beating Wet n Wild up, but their shadows are actually some of my favorites. Their little quads that they have, and their little, I think their little 10-pan palettes, those are so good for the price. I would recommend those any day, all day over these. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it was just mine, but the quality of these was absolutely atrocious. I would never in a million years recommend these to someone. Another one that I absolutely hated, these were both from Revlon. This is the Revlon Youth FX Fill and Blur Primer, and this is the Revlon Youth FX Fill and Blur Primer for forehead. These are, let me just tell you, the most gimmicky freaking product in the entire world. Not only did they do literally nothing when I put them on, but then they also proceeded to make my foundation on top of them look atrocious. I will find the video and I will link it up here or down below. I don't know if I've used up all 5 yet, but if I haven't, I'll link it down below. And these are just so bad. Like, they literally did nothing, and in that video you can see them do nothing. And on one hand, I'm so incredibly impressed by Revlon for marketing this, where here's one for the face, but here's one for the forehead. Like, what? Is your forehead not a part of your face? I don't know. I had to test them out, obviously, for you guys, but these are just a straight gimmick. I would not recommend them ever. They do literally nothing. No. Shame on the world for letting this happen. These are so bad. Okay, so now that we just beat the crap out of Wet n Wild, how about we beat up some Charlotte Tilbury? So at the same time that I reviewed the Charlotte Tilbury Icon palette, which I think I will link down below for you guys, this is such an amazing, beautiful palette. Love it. Like, honestly, let me open it. Oh my God. It's so beautiful. It's amazing. The quality is outstanding. When I reviewed that, I reviewed this lip gloss situation, lip gloss, lipstick, lip something. I would consider it a gloss. Let me just tell you, the color is beautiful. It's the shade Belle de Sour. It's right there. Beautiful. But guys, the smell when it is on your lips, it smells so bad. Oh my God. Oh my God, it smells like a musky ass mothball man. Like, I can't with these. It is so bad. That smell does not go away. It doesn't dissipate while you're wearing it. You literally will smell this. If you wear it for 2 hours, you're gonna smell it for 2 hours. Absolutely not would I recommend this. And I'm like mortified that this went to market and that somebody thought this was okay, because it smells so bad. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. Okay, so on to something else that was completely useless. This is the Lancome. See, there's not just Wet n Wild in here, girl. Hello, the last 2 items have been expensive. The Lancome Booster Mascara. This stuff is so so awful. I applied it, and I'm not against booster mascaras if they work. Let me just preface this by saying it. I've just never found one that worked, and I've never found one that was as bad as this. I put this down before I went in with my regular mascara, and the white cast of this was so bad, first of all, that my regular mascara, which at the time was my Urban Decay Perversion, it could not cover this. It was so white when it went on my lashes, and it stayed like stark beaming Jesus white on my eyelashes. I could not cover it, number one. Number two, it made my mascara so clumpy and lumpy and bumpy and awful. Oh my God, I tried this so many times to try and make it work, and no matter what I did, it was absolutely horrible. I would never recommend this in 1,000 years. If you want my honest opinion, just get a mascara that you already know and love and build it up as much as you can and go that route, because boosters, in my opinion, don't often do much, and normally I would never talk about them, but this one was like offensively bad, and for the price, I'm just like, stop. You need to stop. Here's another one. This is the Ulta Illuminating Powder. This is in Yellow Diamond. I did a full face of Ulta Beauty, which I will link down below for you guys, and I hate this so much. It is literally the chalkiest freaking powder. It's that right there. As you can see, little to no shine for an illuminator, first of all. Second of all, it is thick, it is chunky, it is so thick and cakey feeling, like, oh my God, this is something that I'm like, oh, if I just go scrape it out of the pan, it's thick like flour. Let me bake a cake. Like, this is not it. I'm sorry. It is way too thick. And again, the powder is all wrong. It doesn't feel thin and refined and like it's going to sit and sink into the skin. No, this feels like it's going to sit on top of my skin, cause me texture, cause me irritation, and ultimately make me pull my hair out, which is what it did. I tried it multiple times. I don't like it. And again, let me just show you. That's a big old swatch. There should be some highlight there. There's not. Don't waste your time on those. There are so many other good things in that video that I really did love. I loved the bronzer from that video. I love the brow pencil. Like, there are so many other things. So check that video out if you're curious, but don't, for the love of God, waste your money on this. Hey, why not? I have two mascaras. The first one you just saw me talk about. I will link it up here. This is the Scuba from the Balm mascara. This is horrible. Me, 15 coats later, getting carpal tunnel and a migraine, literally could not build this up to make my lashes work. This mascara, I don't know if mine is just dried out, but literally no product comes off on this brush at all. Like, I don't even know who I am by the end of using this, because I've aged 15 years trying to build it up on one lash. It is horrible. No thank you. Another one is, ironically enough, the NYX Worth the Hype mascara. Not worth the hype, not worth any money. I hate this thing. First of all, this brush, I cannot get behind the shape of it. It looks like a fat old Christmas tree, and it just doesn't work. Like, the mascara itself, the brush, the bristles, I don't know what the combination is, but this is a horrid mascara. There are so many good ones from the drugstore. Personally, I would recommend the L'Oreal Original Voluminous Mascara. I love that so much. This is such a flop. Both of these are awful. If I had to pick the worst one, probably the Balm Scuba, because this one at least put something on my lashes. This one, dear sweet Jesus, don't even. Just stop. The Balm, yet again, another amazing brand. Love their bronzers, love their luminizer, like, love them so much. But that mascara is offensive. Also, you know what else is offensive? This peacock fucking swatch on my hand right now. What is happening? This is why I hate this. Do you see how much pinker this is than when we first started? Don't just... And by the way, I'll be wearing this swatch for the next 15 years, if you were wondering, because it's never gonna come off. Okay, guys, we're almost done, I promise. Next up, this little guy is from Colourpop. This is the Swerve Cream Gel Liner, and I've used it a couple of times. I tried multiple times to make this work. It was thick, it was chunky, it didn't apply to the lid, it was very skippy, and from the moment that I opened it, it seemed dried out. It seemed like it wouldn't work, and I was right. I tried reconstituting it with an oil. I tried everything I could think of to make this work, and the long and short of it is that it just wasn't a good creamy gel liner. It was way too thick, way too chunky, and I couldn't make it work for me. Really, there's not much to say. When a gel liner doesn't work, it's just like, no thank you, and that's where I was at with this. It was just, no. The next item we're going to call a half fail. This is from Dose of Colors. This is their Frozen Ideal Duo, and these are actually a really cool concept. Up top here, it's like a double-decker situation. Up top, you have this really nice cream product, and then down below, you unscrew the lid, and they have a really beautiful shimmery pigment. And what I hate about this is the top part. This creamy situation is literally the worst. So you open it up, and this is the creamy section. This is the part that I don't really love. You can see it has a really beautiful white metallic sheen to it. Looks beautiful, looks stunning. The only problem with this is that it creases on my lids like crazy. But then you dip into this beautiful refined part. This is the part that's truly magical. Watch this. Oh my good Lord. The glitter portion of this is so freaking beautiful. So I will be keeping this, but girl, come on. The top half is a fail. It literally repels off my lids. It creases instantly. It doesn't work like a glue should work as far as something like this goes. It didn't work as a shadow base. It didn't work at all for me. So I had to put it in here and tell you guys about it, even though, like, look at how beautiful. Like, I feel guilty having something that stunning even in my fails because that's so, so beautiful. So again, the glitter is a yes. This top cream is a big no. Guys, next up, this is our last product. This is the Maybelline Plumper Please Shaping Lip Duo. This is so bad. Unless you want your lips to burn for all of eternity, don't purchase one of these. On one side here, you have the liner. On the other side, you have the gloss. And this is in the shade 200 Tease. Went ahead and swatched that right there so you can see the gloss and then the lip duo. It's a really beautiful combo. The only problem, first of all, look at this gloss. It is straight up, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera. It is the goopiest, stringiest, chunkiest gloss. The way that it sits on the lips, it is not comfortable. And then, oh, the best part, I'm sorry, I almost forgot. Because it's a plumping duo, it starts to burn your lips. Absolutely not. No, thank you. When I put this on, I'm not exaggerating. I was sitting there and I was like, this is weird. This is a weird sensation. What's going on? And before I knew it, the entire outer ring of my lips were so red and inflamed. They hurt so bad. And then the kicker, the real thing that got me, is that normally when it's a plumper and it burns, the burn is worth it because it makes your lips look a little fuller, a little, you know, larger, a little, yeah, hell yeah, I got some lips going on. No. All this did was burn. All it did was hurt and cause me pain. This was a huge no for me. And you guys, that is it for today's video. I'm sorry about all the negativity, but you know what? Sometimes you just have to be honest and tell the real tea. You guys can let me know down below. What do you think? Do you have any thoughts, opinions, products that you hated recently? Because sometimes, like, can we just be honest? Sometimes it just feels good to like vent that out and be like, I hated you and no, and you suck and get out of here. Like, that feels good, right? Like, I'm not alone and I know it. So leave me your thoughts down below. And also don't forget, I want you to follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. They're linked down below. Y'all know I'm trying to get verified on Instagram. It's a thing. I've been trying to do it for months now. It's going to take a while, but you guys are definitely helping out. And if you guys love skincare, it's definitely going to be worth your while to follow me there anyways, because I do skincare Saturday/Sunday over on Instagram. You can check it out. Every Saturday or Sunday, I dive into a mask. I dive into skincare products, toners, whatever it is, and we talk about it. I like to break it down, tell you guys ingredients, go over what's good for your skin, what's not good for your skin, and it's a really good way to hang out with me again for like a 6th video, because we do 5 videos a week here, and then it's just kind of like a bonus video. So if you want to follow me, definitely check that out. And that being said, why don't you go ahead and subscribe here if you haven't already done so. I upload 5 videos a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. They go up bright and early between 6 and 7 a.m. my time here in northern Michigan, and we talk about everything, what we love and apparently also what we hate. So definitely subscribe if that sounds like something you're into, because I do, like I said, upload 5 days a week, and I really try to touch on every price point, every item, every release. I really try to bring it all in for you guys so you can make the best informed decisions while at the same time being entertained, because let's be honest, when Paige gets going, oh girl, it's entertaining. And you guys, that is it. Thank you all so much for watching and hanging out with me. Please don't forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Literally so pink. So pink. Stop. Stop. Yep, still there. Gonna be pink for the rest of my life. Oh my god, this hair tie is like cutting off circulation on my wrist. Look at that. Hello, send the freaking paramedics. Oh my god, I'm gonna need my hand reattached. So the first item we have here is the Eyelure X Talia Flower. So the first item we have here is the Eyelure Tower. Oh, my leg is asleep. Oh, my whole hip is asleep. My life is asleep. I am so dramatic.